Hopefully this works. Yeah, it fucking does. Oh my god. Who'd have thought a broken cable can cause this many problems? Thank you so much to everyone for joining me in this Battle of the Riffs listening sessions. 45 minutes late because a cable decided to spontaneously break in my rack. And yeah, we're going to be listening through all of the entries for this month's Battle of the Riffs. If you are tuning in via my YouTube channel, how's the opportunity to take part in our Black Friday sale? 50% off annual for £149, an equivalent United States dollars and euros. You can select the currency at checkout. Sorry about having to do the ad to our Modern Metal Academy members. If you have any questions and you're on YouTube, I won't see them. I'm only going to be checking the questions from Modern Metal Academy members as this is streaming directly to the platform as well as on YouTube. But you get to hear all of the riffs and all of the awesomeness that our members have written to a brief. And this month's brief was relative keys. Or relative modes, relative scales. I say relative keys, but if you're writing in Lydian, you want to write in the relative mixed Lydian or the relative Phrygian dominant. Phrygian, sorry, not Phrygian dominant. I always like Phrygian dominant. If you're writing in harmonic minor, you could be writing in Phrygian dominant, the relative one, playing the exact same notes, just in a different position of your scale or mode. Gets a bit funky when you start getting to Lydian dominant. You know, and all those other weird scales, which actually I had a one-on-one about the other day. So anyway, we're going to start from the top. We've got quite a lot to get through. So, yeah. So I start from the first entry or last entry? Let's start from the last entry this time. This is from Benjamin Arbelot. In fact, I'm just going to bring this up in case there's any extra information that I haven't pasted into my marking document. This has already now been marked as well by the wonderful mods, Greg, Andrew, Jacob, Kevin. And I'm the final one, and then I'm going to announce the winner and the runner-up. And it all is dependent on my final vote. If you are not familiar with the process, if you're new to Modern Metal Academy, or you listen on YouTube, we have 7 different... 7 different categories that we're voting on. Has the brief been met? Most important one. Has there been improvement since the last entry? Is the playing tight? Did I or the mods enjoy the music? Does the entry person help others in the community? Are they active with posting challenges, hacks? And is the member working through the content on the site, and we can see their progress visibly in the community? And for each of those, you can get anything out of 1 to 10. And then obviously there's 5 of us that vote, so you can get up to 350 points. And then the one with the highest points wins. And I feel like this is the fairest way, so it's not the person with the best production. It's not the person that even has the best song. It's the one that's making the most progress and using the resources available at Modern Metal Academy. So anyway, we should go on to our first entry. And before I do that, I wanted to give a big shout out to our sponsors, which you can see down there. As well as a big shout out to, I always get my sides mixed up when I'm looking at so big shout out to Black Magic Design as well, who have supplied me some lovely equipment to make these live streams better. And this camera is one of the things that they have supplied. I was already using their equipment anyway, but they sent some more goodies, including the new Atom Mini, which is what I'm switching between for this as well. So anyway, let's go on to our first entry. We have Benjamin Arbelot. And Benjamin, just seeing if there's any notes with his. So this was the second submission that he did, because he wasn't sure if the first one was his best, so he's probably re-exported it. And this is Benjamin Arbelot, and the track is called Sunless. So Benjamin Arbelot. Hopefully. Come on. Why don't it autoplay? Yeah, really cool. Like, I liked the ending especially. It gave me Parisian vibes. Like, I thought it was going to go into The Loner by Gary Moore for a minute, which is never a bad thing. And I also liked all of the sort of time changes. I'd say be careful a little bit. I think that you want to, with that style of music, if you're playing the Dillinger Escape Plan, that's one thing. But I think that when you're playing something that has like a groove and a pulse to it, then changing that really, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Unexpected groove changes can be quite jarring. So that's the only thing that I would say be careful of. Most of the time changes were good. There was one in the middle that really threw me off, but that was just on first listen. But otherwise, I thought the track was amazing. Like, it gave me carnival vibes in places. I really liked that you changed to the relative major for what I would consider the chorus. Yeah, I think it was. I think you smashed it, Ben. Good riffs, great solo. That's coming from someone that doesn't like solos. So yeah, perfect. Really, really good. So let's move on to Dan Ed. So Dan Ed, is there any notes for Dan? While I'm looking at notes for Dan, there's been a question from Lee Canny. Honest answer, did you get a bit bum twitchy when you were trying to sort out your cables and got the wire snips out? Well, that would involve me having to find the wire snips. But luckily, a few weeks ago, I bought a few cables that I needed. So it's not a common, it's only the cables that you ever use with your speakers. So it's male XLR to TRS stereo jacks. And luckily, bought a few the other week. I was like, I've got a feeling. And I just so happened to have a bunch of new ones over there. So thankfully it was those cables. So that's good. But still, it's annoying. Now it's a mess back there. But to say I got bum twitchy? Absolutely. Absolutely. Abso-bloody-lutely. Anyway, Dan Ed. Dan Ed is next. And this is his submission. And this one's called Spaghettification. Big up, Dan Ed. Big up. Sounded like you went from Phrygian to minor, if I had to guess, on first listen. It's not giving me very much time to work it out in my brain, but sounded good. The only thing I would say is to like work on the tightness of the playing. And I know that I don't really give you very much time, do I? It's less than 2 weeks to write these and record them and to submit them and stuff. But yeah, that's the one thing that I would say to work on. And then obviously the drum programming. But in terms of riffs, I thought the riffs were cool. Like, you met the brief. Riffs were good. I can't argue anymore, and you're constantly active in the community. So it's pretty wicked, Dan. Pretty wicked. And I'm just scoring you now while I'm talking for all of these. Perfect. Yeah, so as they work on those two things, and also the bass, the sub was kind of I'm quite helped here because I've got a sub, but it was like a constant low hum. So just like bear that in mind when you're mixing your bass, just so that, remember, the bass is meant to come in and out. It's like an ebb and flow. It's not like constant, as much as constant does sound heavy. Just bear that in mind when you're mixing bass. Like, you want some of the notes to be sort of more bassy than the others. Otherwise it sounds a bit weird. Do you know what I mean? Just like a constant bass otherwise. So yeah, it's something to just think about when you're mixing your bass. Hopefully that helps. So that brings us on to Daff L. And I'm just making sure that there's no notes. And there isn't. It's because I haven't actually left a notes one on this one, just where to submit your playthrough if you've done one already. So that brings us on to Daff L. And Daff has written a song called Nothing. It's one thing I request to all of you that submit. Name your tracks. Name them something funny, like Diego did a few weeks ago, or a few months ago now, where I couldn't actually say the name of the track publicly. Made me laugh. I'm not saying to do what Diego does, but, you know, do a song title. What does that song make you feel at the time? And just label it. Mainly for your own records more than mine. So anyway, this is Daff L. What great riffs, man. I can't believe you wrote that 3 hours before that. And everyone's digging the tone. Now, I thought the tone was wicked as well, but I heard one note, and it's because I'm listening on Yamahas at the moment. I've got my MSP5s, and it's funny because I always like go through and get some like really nice speaker. Like I've got the Antelope audio ones here. I've got the KSDs and I've got 2 different sets of Yamahas, and I always, for some reason, go to these smaller Yamahas. And the one thing I would say is that there's a notch that you need to do in the mid range, because do you know Britney Spears' voice in, you know, what's the song again? You know, the one from the 90s. Oh, what's it called? See, this is what happens after I've eaten dinner. I just forget everything. Not Oops, I Did It Again. The other one. You know what I'm talking about. Someone say it in the thing. But you know, she's got this really nasally voice in that song, right? Hit Me Baby one more time. That's the one. Thank you, Martin. And yeah, there's a frequency in the mid range. Can't quite pinpoint it, but just give that a little 1-2 dB down and it'll be wicked. And the other thing that I thought about the track actually is that you should speed it up to the point where it's going to fall apart, because I think it would sound really cool fast, that riff. That's the first thing that I thought when I was listening to it. Like, and what I mean is speed it up to the point where it's going to fall apart is where it's almost impossible to play. It sounded like a really cool riff, and that's the first thing I thought, oh, this would sound really cool really fast if you can keep the groove. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. And yes, you did change to a relative key, so you did actually get the brief done pretty well. So it brings us on to our next entry. We've got Antonis Zanis. Antonis Zanis. And is there any notes? Nope. So there's Antonis. And this one's called Outer Gods. Thank you for naming it. Yeah, that was incredible. Like, I was commenting in the chat on MMA that I really love the kick drum sound because it actually sounded like a drum kit. And it didn't just sound like a click and a sub, you know, trying to make its way through the track. There was actual space. It sounded like it was recorded by an AKG D112. It had that egginess in the mid-range, which is really, really cool. And that's the first thing that I noticed. I was like, oh, it's actually a kick drum. That's what a kick drum sounds like. I've totally fucking forgotten because everyone else has. Really, really cool track. Gave me carnival vibes at the beginning into sort of almost like this Opethy kind of midsection, and then all of a sudden it came into this section that sounded like a bit like a perfect circle if they knew how to play outside of pentatonics. And I mean that, I love a perfect circle, you know, but it gave me big vibes of Judith with the octave bit, and also what's that other song on the latest album, Talk, that's it. Yeah, all in all, really, really cool track, really nicely mixed, sounded great riffs, perfect. Quite a few people in the chat want it on Spotify. Don't let them have it on Spotify. Charge them £100 each. Not many messing. Nema, would be amazing to invite some members to join you in a masterclass teaching their thought process behind their song. That's actually a great idea, Nema. Remind me after this stream by posting in the forum of the members lounge, because otherwise I will forget. Just because I've got nowhere to write it down. So definitely keep that in your mind, right? So let's move on to Alexandra. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry to all of our members that I don't pronounce your names properly. I'm really stupid. I can't even speak English, let alone anything else. So Alexandra Boussier. Let's just say that. And I'm really sorry if I pronounced that completely wrong. This song is called Across the Cobalt Path. Alexander. Alexandra, great track. I'm not going to try and pronounce your last name again. A really cool track. It was really, really heavy. The only thing that I would suggest is trying to have more of a pulse with the drums, because it would make it much easier to like sort of latch onto if you think about music. I mean, there is music out there where it doesn't have a pulse and it's meant to be that way, and if that was the intention, then yes. I'm a groove boy though, you know what I mean? So that's the only real comment. I really like the synths. As I was chatting in the chat with Chris about how the synths kind of, well, he got Rick and Morty vibes. I got a bit of modern Vangelis with a little bit more attack. And then when the organ came in, I thought it was a little mixed with the Addams Family, which is never a bad thing. But yeah, it's the first thing that came to my mind with the organ. But really, really, really cool track. I thought the guitars were really disgustingly heavy. And I could definitely hear something that sounded like a key change. Again, I'd have to listen to it again to properly comment on that, but it sounded great. Good job. So let's move on, because we are not even halfway through yet. How many? No, we're not. We're nowhere near halfway through. So this is Anurag Majumdar. Anurag. And this one's called Oral Spectrum. Here we go. I like how you called it Philidian. Is that a new mode? So yeah, Anurag's title on his, even though he said it was called Oral, what was it again? Aural Spectrum, the actual title on the MP3 that is submitted actually is Phrylidian. We've got to make a new genre just called Phrylidian, where it's Phrygian and we completely miss out Lydian, right? No, but honestly, really, really cool track, really great riffs. Now, the only thing I would say, and this goes to sort of everybody, because I've noticed it. Sorry, Kevin's just commenting on this. So, when it comes to guitar tones, it was pretty prevalent there, and this isn't like a dig towards you, Anurag, at all. It's just that sort of the things that I've noticed of modern guitar tone, which is, you know, fine, but it's all sort of mid-range, so don't be scared of having more top end on the guitars. In fact, that's actually kind of what makes guitar tone aggressive. If you think about when you're standing in a room with an amp, it's all just like ripping your face off, right? It's not pleasant. So I would definitely just keep a little bit more of that top end in it, and then it makes the mid-range more sweet, because the mid-range is there for it to cut through, and the high end is sort of there to make it sound aggressive and airy. So that goes to everybody. Just don't be scared of 4K or something like that. 4K is aggressive, you know. Metronome's got nothing on Anurag from Antonis. I agree. Yeah, it was really tight, really well played. Anurag, great riffs, all in all great. Just don't be scared of top end. Top end's a good thing on guitars, like that. You know, that thing. Yeah, it's disgusting. Add it in. You know. So that brings us on to Seb Gerrio. Seb has been a double winner already, Modern Metal Academy. Double winner, second prizes. Big up, Seb. And this is his track called Endless. ending was just amazing. like what I was hearing was, I was like, just go full Gojira, just do it. Like the tapping on the low string, just do it. Just, it doesn't matter. Like art of, you know, the what is it? The gift of guilt. Just go for it. Go for it. Because it's really cool chord sequence with the straight eighth notes that you were doing. And then that lead part, I could hear it just on the low string. Just go full Gojira, it's fine. It's fine. Like, would have been amazing as well. But I really, really liked that ending. I thought the chorus was amazing. I especially liked how you got into the second chorus as well, with the guitar on the left-hand side. Just, yeah. Amazing songwriting, Seb. Killing it. Really, really good. Like what threw me off as well was the fact that you were doing the same riff on the offbeat with the blast beats, and my brain was like, I can't do it. But it was amazing. So it's just that my brain couldn't keep up with Diego's drumming. For any that don't know, Diego is our relative blast beat master. So big up Mr. Dinosaur Man. Diego Dinosaur Man. So that brings us up to Yousef Kabani. Yousef Kabani, it's always good to see your name, mate. I think Yousef has submitted every single month since we've been doing Battle of the Riffs, so big up to Yousef. So Yousef Kabani, here we go. And hopefully my internet just didn't die. Did my internet just die? Or is it just downloading real slow? Well, I just thought my my internet died because this is downloading so slow. Let's cancel this. And try again. Come on. Come on. Come on. Huh. That one doesn't want to download, so let's move on to the next one that also doesn't want to download. Huh. That is really bizarre. What's going on then? Let's have a look. Why are you not downloading? Yeah, it's just not liking it. Let's just refresh the page. Let's see if it works. Right. Let's try downloading Yousef Kabani again. Finally, there we go. Right, panic over. Yousef Kabani. Downloaded it 17 times. Yousef. That chord sequence. I'm going to have to clap again. That chord sequence was magical. Like, when I was listening to it. So, the best way I can explain what I felt when I listened to that was that it was the point when someone had completely given up, but somehow they found hope. Like, do you know what I mean? It was like, that's what I felt with that chord sequence. I've got to listen to it again. The vibe. It's like the moment when someone's about to completely give up, but they don't. That's what that chord sequence sounded like to me. And that's like the beauty of like the modes and the scales in each of them. It creates its own little vibe. Like, there's a vibe that Lydian has, there's a vibe that Mixolydian has, there's a vibe that Phrygian has. And once you find all these cool chord sequences, this is the whole point of relative keys, is that it's like sentences. You just add it to your musical vocabulary, and when you're like, that's the kind of vibe that I want in this song, you already know where to go, right? That's kind of the point. So yeah, Yousef, very, very cool chord sequence. Like, that last chord also gave me Misery Signals vibe, the last chord, which is never a bad thing, you know. Misery Signals rules. So that was incredible, Yousef. Thank you so much. Really, really cool entry. So that brings me on to Patrick Pobajowski, who's also been one of our winners recently. So Patrick, I hope you've named your track, Patrick. This one's called Obsession. Here we go. Patrick, it's funny because I was about to, because there hadn't been a key change until right at the end. I was like, is he going to change to a relative key? And you did. So, perfect. Really, really great entry. Sounded great. Production was wicked. I like the almost simplicity of the riffs. It's really hard to, in my opinion, make simple riffs sound great. It's like a skill set by itself. It's like, can you imagine writing Back in Black, like, as a guitar player that likes bands like Meshuggah? It's like, so I like the fact that the riffs weren't overly complex and they were just groovy and hard hitting. Really, really cool riffs. Really, really good. And it's very, very hard to do that, in my opinion. Hungarian minor plus double harmonic minor. I don't really hear that. That's what Martin K just said. Apparently, this is what this was in. But maybe it's the lead part doing most of the work. Because if you think about it, when you're in a certain scale, there's certain notes within that scale that make it sound like that scale. Like with double harmonic, like what makes that sort of that scale is you have Phrygian dominant top end, so 0, 1, 4, 5, and then you have 7, 8, 11, 12. And it's the sound of that, you know, that thing, the guitar picking thing. That's the double harmonic scale, and it's really difficult to write in that scale, especially chords, because I mean, obviously the first chord isn't too bad, it's just a major 7, and then things start going downhill quite quickly. So yeah, double harmonic minor is used a lot in Bulgarian music. Yeah, Hungarian minor is also one of the scales of double harmonic minor, relative. So yeah, I just I find it difficult with the triads, but something to try again. Well, I've got to do it anyway for the live streams. If you're watching on YouTube, then you can join the free live streams area of Modern Metal Academy, and I do a series on writing in each of the scales and modes. We're currently up to Mixolydian for the next live stream. That's right, I'm only on scale number 5. We've got a long way to go. So Patrick, great entry, most excellent, and if it was in double harmonic minor, cool. I'm guessing that the lead part told most of it, and then obviously the part where you changed key did a lot more of the notes. But yeah, thank you very much for your submission. And that brings us on to Ionis Raptis, who I believe, if this is the same entry, we had a one-on-one about this the other day, and it's really, really cool. So I'm excited to hear this again. So this track is called The Spellcaster's Trance from Ionis Raptis. tracks. I think that you made this one in complete hard mode, or in God mode, when it comes to the scale and the difficulty, because you know, I remember speaking about this at our one-on-one last week, and Ionis used the Lydian dominant scale and melodic minor, and both are pretty difficult scales to use. I remember talking about this, and just a little bit of history. So I used mixed Lydian flat 6, which is another mode of the melodic minor scale. Melodic minor is 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, major 6, major 7 root. So it's the same as harmonic minor, except you raise up the 6th to be a major 6. And Lydian dominant is also part of that sequence, and Lydian dominant is a Lydian scale with a flattened 7th, and it's a bit peculiar again with the triads. So it's a really it makes really unique sequences. The hardest thing that I found with melodic minor is obviously it only sounds like melodic minor if you are introducing certain notes. Because if you use like for example, it always wanted to sound like harmonic minor to me because of my ear, so I had to force getting that major 6 in there, and a good way to do it is just to add it to chords, you know, as like an extension chord, which is exactly what I did for the chorus of Arc Essence, if you want to listen to melodic minor from a Monument's point of view. But I really like that last riff, Ionis, of the track you did. I thought it was really well written, really unique. I can't think of anywhere in normal sort of this style of metal where I've heard Lydian dominant before. Maybe someone like Wes Hauck, or you know, one of those other amazing guitar players has used it, you know, for something that they've done, or some tech death band, you know. But yeah, I've definitely not, it's not a very usual scale to play. It's used in jazz, isn't it, to improvise over dominant 7 sharp 11 chords, right? It's like, what are the function? We'll try and write a song in it, right? And as I say, when you start going to those weirder scales, what makes them complicated is trying to make chord sequences with the triads, where the triads aren't making perfect triads. They're making like diminished and these weird things that don't sound nice. It's like one of the main sort of, if anyone's heard of the enigmatic, it's one of the problems. It's like trying to solve a mathematical equation, you know. But yeah, great track, really cool. So that brings us on to Monica Ward next. So we've got Monica Ward. The track is called Seaside Dreams. This is Monica. incredible. It's funny, it's called Seaside Dreams, and like, yeah, it started like Seaside Dreams, and then it went into the scene from Stranger Things, where 11 is standing on Billy's beach when he was a kid. If anyone's watched the Stranger Things episode and knows what I'm talking about, big up. Yeah, it just got really dark, didn't it? In a really cool way. It's funny, yeah, it definitely, you know, everyone's saying it had plenty of vibes. What I was hearing was the big 80s ballads in there, if they were played in a really cool time signature. Specifically, like, there was points in that where I thought it was like kind of meatloafy, you know, big ballad vibes, like Objects in the Rear View Mirror, sort of, when it does like the big ringing open chords. Like, it's never a bad thing, you know. Those 80s ballads are always amazing. And I thought it was just like a really good amount of space. Like, writing music with space is great. Something that I need to tell myself, because I keep playing every note at the moment. So yeah, a lot of dynamics, great work. It was perfect. Really well written. So yeah, thank you for your submission, Monica. So that's been marked. So that brings us on to Demian Schneider. Is it Damien? Or Demian? I guess I kind of said the same thing then, didn't I? So this is Demian Schneider, not named, but that's fine. Here we go. Demian, great riffs, mate. Great riffs, mate. I would say, like, the main thing is to finish the track. Overall, I thought the riff ideas were great. I actually thought the kit sounded great as well. Like, the actual drum kit sounded amazing. Just like, yeah, spend some extra time like working out like what it is that is the overall vibe of the song. I mean, obviously, it's like when it comes to songwriting, it's one of those things that just like takes a little bit of time. But you've got like the hard part already done, which is good guitar sound, good drum sound. Like, both of them sounded amazing. So now it's just a case of like programming some drums that are more like what it is that you want to hear. It's funny, when it first came in, I was like, this would make a really cool intro, and then the drum beat comes in fully to support the guitar riff that was happening. And that would have been really, really cool. And then the same with the chorus, like recording two sides, so it's two guitars with the lead line down the middle, some bass in there, and then the drums doing the drums. I thought like the writing itself was actually pretty solid, so I think you did a great job. I'm just marking it now, which is why I'm trying to concentrate, because I'm one of those people that can't speak and do something else at the same time. Are you guys like that? I'm just useless at it. So yeah, that's the only real comment I would say. Like, to say, you've got the hard part out of the way, which is a good guitar sound and a good drum sound. Like, I always thought that was the hardest thing. So yeah. Oh, we've got another question in here. So Eric Crooms, 1 minute, I'm just going to check. Eric Crooms. I did. Just gonna have to wait your turn, Eric. I'm only kidding. So anyway, Jesse Garcia. Jesse Garcia is next. Here we go. Incantation of the Lost Gods. Have you been talking to Diego? Jesse, I thought it was amazing. Like, really, really angry, really, 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 really cool drum beats, actually. The one thing I would say, and the drum beats were cool, but give something for someone to latch onto in terms of a sort of regular beat. Because not only will your drummer hate you if you don't, like something, you know, it's that groove mixed with the chaos that it sort of gives it more of a bit of this is obviously my 2 cents, gives it more of an ebb and flow. And I think that that's a good thing, because then the parts that are more chaotic sound more chaotic because you've given a contrast to the chaos. It's like when you listen to a good example of this is Widower by the Dillinger Escape Plan. It starts on piano with clean singing, and then by the end of the song it is so angry, and it sounds extra angry because the rest of the song hasn't been angry. It, obviously opinionated from me again, but I always think that it's like how when you go from, like, another good example is Dream Theater Finally Free. You got that really nice clean major intro, and then when it goes into the minor chord after the intro, it sounds so dark because you've been listening to something that's so outrageously happy and Ionian. So that's the only thing I would say, is like try and do a little bit of contrast between the full beat and the thing. And also the guitar tone at the end fucking ruled. It was so disgusting. I loved it. But really, really cool entry. Not entirely sure that there was a relative key change, but you submitted, and that's what the most important thing is. Because that's what it's all about. It's about getting better at songwriting and trying different briefs and seeing what it is that you like. Playing was great. Drum programming was great. So yeah, fantastic. Okay, Nema Ashrati. So Nema is next. Transcendence from Nema. Here we go. amazing. Oh my god. Nema, I think it was you the other day that said you think that you finally nailed it. And I think you might have been right. Like, that is definitely the best thing you submitted, and it was absolutely amazing. That chord sequence is so easy. Not easy, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like a fairly simple chord sequence, that down, 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 but it had this like emotion attached to it. And this is like what I think is like the important thing about finding your own voice with music, is that, you know, you'll hear certain artists sort of like repeat similar chord sequences, and for some reason the first thing that sort of went into my head then, I don't know why, but it was that song I Can See So Clearly Now, The Rain Is Gone. And when I think about that song and the chord sequence, it reminds me the person that wrote this song must have been so fucking happy. You know what I mean? It's like, because it makes me happy. And then I heard that and I was like, it sounds like absolute pain. You know, while it was happening, that's what the massive contrast of this chord sequence that's, you know, it's fairly basic in terms of its composition, but it sounded awesome. It's really well composed, and it fit really, really well with the rest of the track. The lead part was tasteful and had purpose. It was all really, really good. So yeah, big up Nema. Big up Nema. It was really, really good. Yeah. So let's go on to, we have Jamie Art. Jamie. So this song is called Ash and Wake from Jamie Art. Here we go. Jamie. I'm always inspired when Jamie submits, because I don't know if it still is like this, but when Jamie when he writes something, he has to completely set up everything, because he doesn't have a desk, because it's his kids have invaded the room. So he has to literally set everything up completely every single time. So he has to put it away, and I'm always inspired by that, because that's a pain in the ass in itself, having to like reset up your sound card, get your guitar out of the case, and then set up, you know, everything, like literally. And that would be a real roadblock for me because I'm really, really lazy, you know. So yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Jamie for that, because that is dedication. And the songs are really cool. The ideas are really cool. Get some bass on that, because that was like really cool. When it first came in, actually, I thought it was going to be Norma Jean, because it was quite close in terms of that Norma Jean riff. What is it? Memphis. Memphis will be laid to waste. Is that the track? It's been so long. Yeah, Memphis will be laid to waste by Norma Jean. It's very, very close. But then immediately went into to something completely different, and I thought the chorus was really cool. Kind of sounded kind of Soundgarden-y in a cool way, which is never a bad thing. But yeah, I thought it was a really, really cool song. So thank you very much, Jamie, for your submission. Most excellent. Most excellent. So that brings us on to, we've still got quite a lot to listen to here. Pierre Capois. I've already forgotten. Sorry, Pierre. We had this conversation in the last live stream, didn't we? So, Pierre. Amazing, Pierre. Massive Court of Luna vibes. Pelican, you know, that's post-rock, Tides from Nebula. And I'm really into that. Like, one of my favourite albums is Somewhere Along the Highway by Court of Luna. I think it's one of my favourite albums. Dark City, Dead Man, that track. Then obviously you've got Leave Me Here from Salvation. I saw them on the Fire Was Born DVD as well. So like post-rock is... I think you did a great track. Really, really, really cool vibes to it. And you love Cult of Luna too. Yeah. Yeah, great live band. Great band. Funny thing is that it took me 3 times of seeing them live to care. And I always loved them beforehand. It's one of those bands where, like, so I was, you know, watching Dillinger Escape Plan, Meshuggah, Sixth, and all those bands before that. And with Cult of Luna, you just need to close your eyes when you see it live and actually soak it in. And that's what the problem was, why I didn't like them 3 times. But yeah, the track was amazing. Like, really, really well written. Really cool vibes. The guitars had anger in the top end. I like that. Yeah, they sounded great. What did you use for the guitars? Just so I know. Let me know in the chat. So anyway, we've still got quite a lot to listen to. So now I'm going to listen to our next entry. So we have Orlando Morris Windmill. So this is Orlando's entry. No name again. Excellent track, Orlando. Especially that first riff. That first riff is menacing in a really, really cool way. The only thing that I would say is that first riff sounds way faster than the rest of it. And it's this thing that I spoke about with Anurag's. Was it Anurag's song? I think it was. Yeah, it was Anurag's song where it felt slow. Try speeding up to the point where you can't play it anymore to get into the sort of groove of it. Because I think that when you've got these chaotic riffs, they kind of need to be at the point where they're still grooving, but they're about to fall apart. That's like when I know that I'm at the right speed. Like, that's kind of it. It's the giveaway. It's like where it's still grooving, but it's about to fall apart. Like, that's when I know it's right. I can't explain it any other way, but that's the only thing I would say. The first riff sounded like it was at the right speed. It was the rest of them. Yeah, but can you play that fast, John? This says Lee. No, I can't. That's why everything fell apart when I played it live. You know, but yeah, just that's the only thing I would say. So, because the other riffs felt sluggish in comparison to that first riff. So that's my only comment. I thought songwriting wise, spectacular. It's a great job. Now we move on to Mortiser. Mortiser Diantnafar. So Mortiser. Shadow of a Cage. Here we go from Mortiser. Big up Mortiser. So Mortiser has been with us for probably about 8 months, and I think it's also his first submission. So Mortiser has been posting pretty relentlessly in the forum with his updates on his playing, and the amount of progress that Mortiser has made in this time period is actually insane. You know, just from watching the videos he's been posting in the forums and the progress he's been making, and you know, you actually did do a key change which is pretty awesome, you know, for actually, you know, I remember I was doing a one-on-one a couple of weeks ago and sort of explaining it, what to do, and yeah, so big up Mortiser. I thought you did a great job. It's your first submission, maybe even potentially one of the first songs you've ever written, so big shout out. And also those toms sounded fucking amazing as well in that floor toms on this side, which is you know what I was saying earlier, the hard part is getting sounds that sound good to inspire you. So yeah, great riffs. I especially liked the clean part as well. So big shout out to Mortiser for his first submission. Brings us on to a moderator, one of our mods. Is this you, Andrew? I think it is, because you haven't put your real name in. So anyway, this is Andre Flamenco El Modo. Here we go. Mr. Flamenco, sick entry. Like, what was the guitar sound? I just asked you in the Sandru's a mod for MMA. I just asked him what he actually used for the guitar sound, because I'm gonna shoot myself if it was the Quad Cortex. I'm only kidding. No, I think he used he either used the Quad or the Red 7 preamp, but there was top end to it, the guitar sound, which was cool. I like top end. I want it to rip off my face. So, but yeah, I think it was the Red 7 preamp. And yeah, it sounded great. I really, really liked the guitar sound, and also just the songwriting in general. I thought you did a great job, Andrew. One thing that I thought at the end, and it's like the double kick, the fast double kick, and it's like, if I was Diego, those kicks would be snares. That's the thought that came into my head when I was listening to that. So yeah, great track, good songwriting, tight playing as well, which is what you want, you know. So great job. So that brings us on to our next entry. So we have 8 more to listen to. So we've got John Bright next. John Bright, I remember your submission from was it last month? Month before that. We didn't have one last month, did we? Because I was away. So yeah, it was the month before that. So yeah, I remember your submission then, John. So this one's not got a name again, but that's fine. Let's just call it John Bright. So this is John Bright. John, what an absolutely insanely good entry. The chorus is really, really catchy. Like, insanely catchy, especially with that lead line. Yeah, it was fucking wicked. Really catchy, great riff, bouncy, groovy, everything. And you change key. Really good. I like the fact that the guitar tone is really raw as well. Like, I think it works really well. The fact that it's not too gated, the fact that there's a lot of like the low mid-range, it's pretty cool. And it was the same with your last entry, that type of guitar sound, which I really like. So yeah, great entry. Let's move on to Marlon Offholtz. So Marlon, or Marion, one minute, I should really get some glasses. Marlon Offholtz. And this song is called Ascent. Marlon, Marion, can't read. Great entry. Really good. Like, riffs were great. Guitar tone was great, especially at the beginning. I thought it sounded wicked. Top end on the guitars. Yeah, really good. And yeah, welcome to Battle of the Riffs. I think you might have submitted once before, maybe. I can have a quick look to see, but I do recognise your name. Believe it or not, I actually have remembered most names that enter, which is surprising, right? It's the only thing I can remember these days. This is so we'll go on to our next entry. We've got Kristoff Stalmack, or is it Stalmack? Yeah, Kristoff Stalmack, who is in the chat currently, or was a few minutes ago. So let us listen to Kristoff Stalmack. It seems he's been hanging around with Diego. Nettle infused nipple massage. fucking amazing. Like, really, really, really cool riffs. I was saying in the chat, the guitar tones especially gave me sort of that 90s sort of Destroyer Rays Improved Chaosphere vibe, like that really smooth but aggressive Mesa sound that Meshuggah had. And I don't know why it gave me that vibe, but it did. It sounded wicked, really cool riffs, and I really liked the blast section, which was just kept going, but it didn't get boring. It's one of those, like, it was a really, really good track, and like the whammy bar stuff as well was like sort of characteristic of that era as well. If you think about like Suicidal Tendencies, like what's the song? How Will I Laugh Tomorrow If I Can't Even Smile Today? Rocky George does some of those sort of, kind of reminded me of that, and that's never really a bad thing, you know. But the track was great, the riffs were great, the blasts were great, the name of your song was great. Everything's great. Speaking of which, probably should mark it, right? Yeah, it was really, really cool. So great job, Kristoff. Brings us on to Martin Kimchi. It wasn't last month, it was the month before, because we did a bit of a catch up, but let's just say last month's winner, Martin Kimchi. Here we go, Martin. This one's called Redland. Here we go. It's always impressive to listen to your work, Martin. Like, Martin is a member that submits nearly every single month, if not every single month. And we had a one-on-one the other day, and he was telling me that his PC's turned to shit, basically, and that he has to sort of export all the tracks from Ableton to then mix it in a separate session. And yeah, I mean, the amount of work that goes into something like that, where you've got all these synths and then all the production elements of the guitar doing this swirly thing, and it's like, oh, you've exported all that, and if you want to make one little change, you've got to go back and change it. It's like dedication, you know what I mean? Really great track, great great chord sequences, great rhythms. Really liked the addition of all the synths next to the guitar, because it gives it like this sort of aggressive top end. With the guitars, one thing I would say is just be careful of your tightness. Like, you know, make sure that it's like, when you've got synths in, you can notice it immediately if it's not tight. So just make sure that it's exactly the same on left and right. And maybe you could have probably gotten away with a slightly tighter gate as well with that one, but just my 2 cents. I have an opinion. It's probably wrong. So that brings us on to our next entry, Dennis. We've got 3 left, guys. 3 left, and then I'm going to announce the winners. So we've got Dennis O. I've tried to pronounce your name, Dennis, and I'm really sorry, but Dennis has submitted many times over the last year and a bit. So big up to Dennis. Then we've got Eric Crooms and Lee Canny. So this is Dennis with Horizon. Damn, I really didn't want it to finish there. That fucking chord sequence just then was amazing. Slightly out of tune guitar though, Dennis. Slightly out of tune guitar. Which, you know, it happens. Like, it's not the end of the world, but that chord sequence just then was really good. Really good. It sounded great as well. I liked all the synth elements. I liked all the guitar elements, and I would have definitely brought both of them together. You know, that like that bit. Add that into that first riff of guitars or something similar, so it follows the guitars, because it will like It's weird. Let me explain this. Are you guys familiar with like dubstep? There was this Casper and Rusko, and they did a song called Mr. Chips. Do you guys remember that song? And I remember the production when I listened to it, and it's like, it sounds not only that it's big on the left and right, but you can hear things coming in like that way on the speakers. It's really bizarre. And when it comes to the synth stuff over the guitar, it kind of adds in that up and down bit. It's like the real top part that the guitar's not covering, and then the real sub bits the bass isn't covering, and it sort of like brings everything into this like cool solidarity. You could kind of hear it in Martin's entry as well, where it was doing those extra bits, which is a cool thing. So that's the only thing I would say, Dennis. I thought your track was amazing. So great job. So last two we have, in fact, I just need to mark Dennis's. So yeah, all right. So Dennis's is marked, which is great. Right, Eric Crooms. And Lee, don't feel left out. You know what they say, save the best for last. I'm going to call you Bisto from in future. Anyway, this one's called Absolutely Nothing. This is Eric Crooms. Apparently not. Great job, Eric. Definitely did the brief. Definitely changed to a relative key. And you definitely wrote some bitchin' riffs. Sounded great. I don't know what you were so worried about. Like, great riffs. I understand, though, like, you know, one of the things that, you know, I am, like, literally playing your music to, you know, everyone that's listening. And, you know, I get it. It's scary, you know. But the whole point of this exercise of Battle of the Riffs, yeah, there's some prizes to win at the end. That's not like the prize. The prize is actually just trying new things and writing to different briefs to try and get better at writing music. It's one of those things that is a skill set, like technique on a guitar. If you don't practice it, you can't get any better at it. Unless you're lucky and you write AC/DC Back in Black and make millions, and then you don't have to care anymore. You know? You can just write whatever. No, I'm not saying like that, because obviously AC/DC have written some many iconic riffs. They obviously cared, but do you know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things that you have to constantly practice, and this is a good way to practice with potential for a little bit of fun at the end with a Schecter Tau or a 2 Notes Opus, or, you know, the stuff we've got from, you know, STL Tones, Tune Track, you know, all these amazing prizes that these are amazing sponsors give to us for you guys, you know. So that brings us on to our last entry, which is Lee Canny, 2 times winner this year. You lucky son of a bitch. Bisto. And this song's called Monarch. So this is Monarch from Lee Canny. Mr. Lee Canny, killing it. Like, the amount of progression that Lee has made in the last few months is actually pretty, it's pretty insane. You know, like, from the production, but also the writing and the playing, it's all massively improved. And yeah, the vocals in that one were just stellar, really, really good. You did that in 2 weeks. Crazy. It's crazy. What I'm doing right now is just the scores have been added up, so I'm just writing the honorable mentions in so that I don't fuck it up. You know, so basically anyone that's in 30 points of the winner, we give an honorable mention. So that would make that one, yeah. Okay, that one. We have an honourable mention there. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Wow, there's a lot of honours today. Damn lot of honours. Okay. Right. I have the results in. So, you know what time it is, gang. You need to get those snares in the chat. Come on, you know where the snare button is. It's millions of them. Come on, I want to see millions of them. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to announce the honourable mentions, and just before we do that, big shout out to the sponsors. First prize is, you guys ready for it? First prize is the Shek Tao, 6 or 7 or 8, if that's your thing. 12 packs of DR Dragon Skin Plus strings, 2 Notes Audio Engineering Opus and Genome Ultimate, Tune Track Superior 3 Core, STL Tones 1 year of Tone Hub, Baby Audio 5 plugins of choice, and Submission Audio Producer Bundle plus Bass Library of choice. And you also get a winner's plaque from Modern Metal Academy. So that's first place. Second place is Shekza Guitars, my signature pickups, the Colossus and the Chaos Breaker. A set, 6, 7 or 8, your choice. 6 packs of Dragon Skin Plus strings, 2 Notes Audio Engineering Genome Ultimate, Tune Track Easy Drummer Core, STL Tones 1 year of Tone Hub, Baby Audio 2 plugins of choice, and Submission Audio you get a bass library of choice. So with that being said, it's now time to give the honourable mentions. There is about 50 million snares in the chat, so thank you very much, everybody, for completely whitewashing the chat with snares. So, honourable mentions go to, and you'll get a badge for this on the community as well. So, Benjamin Arbelot, honourable mention. Seb Gerrio, honourable mention. Yousef K, honourable mention. Nema A, honourable mention. Mortiser Diantfar, honourable mention. Jamie R, honourable mention. Martin Kimchi, honourable mention. Dennis O, honourable mention. Lee Canny, honourable mention. Right. Second place. Who's winning the pickups? Easy Drummer, 6 packs of DR strings, and all that stuff. I need snares in the chat. Where the fuck are the snares? Come on. Where the fuck are the snares? Excuse my language. I can't be in charge of the snares. Come on, you guys have to be. There we go. We've got snares in the chat. Second place goes to Anurag Majumdar. Well done, Anurag. Congratulations, Anurag. Congratulations, Anurag. Second place. I'll be in touch to get your email, to then get your address and your bank account details and your sort code and all that other stuff. No, I'll just be getting your address so we can send you these physical items. So I'll send you an email after this. And then we go on to our first place. We've got some more snares. Yep, more snares. Come on, give us more snares, 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 snares. First place, first place. And this track sounded amazing. Really good. Sounded great. The riffs were simple, but really well executed. It is none other than our favourite Canadian, Patrick Pobajowski. Patrick, as an honourable mention, we will quickly listen to Patrick's track. Big up to Patrick. Big up to Patrick. And Patrick's track is Obsession. did. Patrick, congratulations. Anurag, congratulations. Big shout out to all of our honourable mentions that got very, very close to the same score within 30, 40 points, something like that. Sorry for yawning. It is 20 past 11 here because my computer didn't work. Shout out to all of you guys as well for submitting your tracks. You all did very, very excellent. Just remember what's the 7 sort of points that we mark: being active and helping others in the community, and also posting your videos in the community for us to see your progress. It's like a big part of it. All right, we want you to have fun in this in Modern Metal Academy. We want to see your progress. That's what you're here for. So yeah, big shout out to all of you for submitting, and big shout out to everyone in YouTube land that's also been watching. If you want to get involved, now's the time. Black Friday only till Monday, 50% off annual. Big shout out to the sponsors that are right that way on the screen. Big shout out to those sponsors. Big shout out to Black Magic Design for the help with the cameras. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a very good evening, everybody. We'll be doing the writing session for the next Battle of the Riff on, I think it's the 6th of December. Writing sessions. Come in. What do you want me to write? What do you want the brief to be? Say in the event. We've also got the masterclass of building tones with the Line 6 Helix Stadium, which will be on the 13th of December. And then obviously next winner announcement, 27th of December. We've also got the songwriting live stream on the 28th of December. So come on into Modern Metal Academy. Don't forget to RSVP to those events. And yeah, see you all very soon. Have a good rest of your evening. See you guys later. Bye-bye.